We're going to be driving up the East Coast through 10 different state lines, starting from Columbia, South Carolina, all the way up to Boston, Massachusetts. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another travel vlog, and this time it's another road trip. As I'm filming this clip right now, it is 9 p.m. on a Friday evening, and I'm getting my stuff ready for my flight tomorrow morning. My husband Lucas is currently in Columbia, South Carolina. More specifically, he is at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and he has been on military orders for the last 4 weeks. So obviously I am super excited to see him tomorrow morning. 4 weeks ago, we drove our car from Boston, Massachusetts down to Columbia, South Carolina. So that way Lucas had a vehicle to use during his training. Because of the weather back in January, we actually drove 18 consecutive hours. And then I think I only spent about 36 hours in South Carolina before I got back on a plane and flew back home to Massachusetts. Now that it's time for Lucas to return home, I am yet again jumping on a plane to fly to Charlotte, North Carolina, so that way I can help him drive our car back up to Massachusetts. This time we have some fun stops along the way, so stay tuned for some southern foodie adventures and maybe even an evening in Philadelphia if we have some time. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and get some rest, but I will talk to you guys tomorrow. We made it to our hotel here in Charleston, South Carolina. We are staying at a Holiday Inn on the Riverwalk, I believe. We drove 3 hours from the Charlotte International Airport where Lucas picked me up, and then we drove all the way here. We'll be spending tonight as well as tomorrow morning exploring the Charleston downtown area. As you guys saw from the previous clips, before we made our way out of Charlotte, we stopped by the Krispy Kreme headquarters. Once I found out that headquarters was located in Charlotte, I knew that we had to make the 15-minute drive from the airport to pick up some donuts for the drive. We are so excited to be on the coast, and now that we're at the hotel, we are hungry. So our plan now is to go ahead and find some dinner over on King Street. Good morning from Charleston, South Carolina. Today we are spending a good bit of the day exploring downtown. As you guys saw from clips last night, we had dinner over on King Street. It's called Coast Bar and Grill. I actually believe it's on John Street. They were able to seat us over at the bar because of course it was Saturday night in Charleston. Everywhere was booked for reservations. We unfortunately didn't have advance notice to make reservations, but if you're planning on visiting Charleston, we highly recommend reservations for dinner on weekends. But if you're like us and you're trying to stop in last minute, it's still no problem. A lot of the places still offer bar service, and it's first come first serve. I should also note that their bar service is a fully serviced menu, so whatever you wanted to order on the menu you can still order at the bar. I ended up getting their shrimp and grits, which were amazing, and then Lucas ordered scallops with mashed potatoes. For starters, we also had a half dozen of oysters and some ceviche, which they paired with some chips. Honestly, 10 out of 10. We enjoyed our meal. And we also enjoyed like the cozy environment. I really like how they renovated the restaurant. It was so charming, and it's tucked away in this beautiful alley. All in all, a great last minute find. This morning, Lucas and I just parked over in downtown Charleston again. We're actually gonna hang out around Meeting Street this time. We're gonna pop over to the iconic Rainbow Row, and then I think we're gonna try and find some biscuits over at the city markets. With all that said, of course, we will bring you guys along. So we spent the morning exploring Charleston and it was so much fun. Seeing Rainbow Row was something I can check off my bucket list. It was so pretty seeing all the colorful buildings. It was definitely a bit chillier than we expected. Although it was like in the high 50s, there was still this wind chill, but we didn't let that stop us. We still took a walk over to the city market to take a look at all the stands. It's Sunday today, so we got to see some of the stalls and we did a little bit of shopping. We picked up some postcards and some jam, and then we also picked up some sweaters. We absolutely love Charleston. We need more time, so we definitely have plans to come back in the warmer months. Again, we just spent the morning exploring Rainbow Row. We had breakfast over at Callie's Hot Little Biscuit. So good. It was literally phenomenal. We had some breakfast sandwiches, bacon, egg, and cheese, and we also did the deal that was like 3 for $6, so you could try different ones. We tried the cinnamon, the blackberry, and the sharp cheddar as well. So all of it was phenomenal. We also picked some up to have on the road for lunch, but we are off to Richmond, Virginia now. That's where we'll be staying tonight. So of course, as always, we'll bring you guys along. I will check in once we get to the hotel. Hey guys, it has been many days later. My apologies, I completely forgot to vlog on day 3. I just wanted to jump on here really quick to talk about what we got to see and what we got to do during the last leg of our trip to Massachusetts. By the time we arrived at Richmond, Virginia, it was already dark and we had made a 5 to 6 hour drive, so we were pretty exhausted. We decided to treat ourselves to margaritas and nachos. Found a place called Casa del Barco over on the Canal Walk in Richmond. It was a really great dinner. The mango margarita was a fire. The next morning, it was much colder and much rainier than it was down in South Carolina, which is to be expected as you're driving up north. We were originally going to make a stop in Philadelphia for a day, but then we both decided that because of the rain, we wanted to just push forward and make the 9-hour drive. I think if the weather was just like a little bit better, we both would have been more motivated to spend more time in Philly, but since it was such a cold and rainy day, we decided to table Philly and make a separate trip to check out the city another time. We did get the chance to stop by for about an hour or so just to stretch our legs. I mean, a 9-hour drive is crazy long. So we got to see Independence Hall and the Liberty Bell, which were the top 2 things that we wanted to see in Philly. With that said, we have many more things on the list of things we want to see and do in Philadelphia, so stay tuned for a separate vlog for Philadelphia sometime in the future. But for now, that is a wrap. That is our East Coast road trip from South Carolina back up to Massachusetts. So that means we are back in the snow for a few more weeks until spring gets here. If the military had given us a little more advance notice, I think we definitely would have made a whole week out of this trip. But when you're on military time, you just have to learn how to make the most out of every experience you're given. And the good news is I think we did just that. Thank you so much for tagging along with us. Up next, we do have a couple of winter adventures that I'm super excited for. I'm also hoping to create a couple of travel tip videos just to answer some of the questions that some of you guys have been asking me lately. So stay tuned for those. Get excited for some epic views and more adventures. But until the next video, I'll talk to you guys soon.